let's say you got a call from President Obama, and there was a Department of Mindfulness that he was putting together, and and you would be the obvious choice, and you would take it on. If you had a nice budget, you could rearrange little pieces of our world, what would you do?
I'd start every meeting. I mean, I don't want to sound facile about this because I don't know what I would do. But, I mean, there are a lot of different ways that one could do this. And a lot of them, they need to really be informed by wisdom, or they can get just really goofy very quickly.
Yeah.
But one of them would be, you know, when you start a meeting, for instance, and we've been doing this for 30 years, if it's an hour-long meeting, it can be very valuable if you take the first 5 or even 10 minutes, ring some bells, and drop into stillness. And then underneath thinking, so if your thinking is like the surface of the Pacific Ocean waving, you're dropping into the sort of deep ocean of your own mind/heart, okay? And you're just taking up residence here and riding on the sort of very gentle, undulating waves that are like underneath the ocean, even in the midst of storms. 5 or 10 minutes of that by the clock, and then 50 minutes of dialogue can have a much more fruitful outcome in terms of a meeting of minds and hearts, even over very, very difficult issues, than if you just go right in with your thinking minds and your adversarial competitive views. So there are all sorts of things that one might do. Certainly creating a budget for mindfulness in the schools. And to find ways to do it, vocabularies to do it, ways like they're doing in Oakland and they're doing in New York City public schools and all over the country, that really don't have to do with, that are immune in some sense to the notion that we're trying to brainwash the children and turn them into Buddhists. This is not about Buddhism, it's about being human and learning what the human repertoire is. And so I think that there are many, many different ways in which mindfulness and compassion and all of these, social and emotional characteristics of our humanity can be promoted in such a way that they will inform our institutions. Our institutions will, in small but very profound ways, rotate so that the greater good, if you don't mind my coining a phrase, will be held in regard and be the kind of gold standard for the outcomes of decisions, as opposed to less than the greater good, because we're all into self-interest and special interests and so forth that drive so many of the concerns, whether we're talking about state politics, national politics, world politics. There's a new possibility here, and I don't think, again, that any one person can be like mindfulness czar of the United States. It is a distributive function. What we need to learn about politics is we all have to, maybe for the first time, take responsibility for being planetary citizens. So I think that, that's why I love the work that you're doing. I mean, it's just like, it has to be grounded in science. That's the coin of the realm these days. But the science also has to be grounded in some sense in the sort of deeper perspective of what it means to be human, so that it's not a reductionistic science, but it's actually the science. It's a science of holism.